Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Opinion Machine, the show where we talk about all things gaming. My name is Killjoy, and today we're going to be taking a look at Pac Man World 2 Re Pac. Now, I think I made a bit of a boo-boo. I meant to buy the Nintendo Switch 2 version of this game, but I ended up buying the Nintendo Switch version of this game. And I thought, oh, you know, it'd probably be an upgrade. There is not an upgrade. Not an upgrade path, so if you buy the Switch version, you are buying the Switch 2 version separately, which is a bit unfortunate. But this game is essentially a remake of Pac Man World 2 that I played on the GameCube. It is a 3D platformer starring this little fella here, Pac Man. As you can see, I've got him with his hat on backwards. You have a few different costumes. This game, if I'm honest, right, I have nostalgia for this game. I like this game. I find this game fun. But this game is kind of an above average to maybe a good game. It's not a great game. And even in this remake that exists, there's some things that do make it better, but there are some things that I still feel are a bit naff. And that's just part of the game, really. But I'm just gonna show off like a level or two. I think I can go to let's leave Pac Village, go to the map, show off a level, maybe show off a boss fight and stuff like that, and sort of talk about my experience with the game. So the original game itself takes a lot of inspiration from other platformers. So there's Crash Bandicoot elements, some Spyro, some of Mario 64, like all these different sort of elements to it to make this game. And that itself is fine. The game itself is fine to play. The actual game handles, Pac-Man handles absolutely fine. There's no issue with that. But what you will find with this game is it doesn't do anything particularly amazing. There's nothing amazing about this game. It's a very competent platformer for a price of about £30, which is what I think it is. It's a competent platformer, right? It does things. So we've got Pac-Man here. We can move in any direction. We can jump. We can butt bounce. We can rev roll, which is this. And we can also flip kick, which is your main way to attack and open chests and things. The game adds in the super butt bounce, which is this. If I can do it. There we go. You get the flash. You get a big bounce. The game relies on this mechanic maybe a little bit too much, I think. But that is new to the game. You also have the ability to chuck Pac pellets. So let me go and find some of those while we explore. And it also adds in this. It's like a little extra hop for you. We've got Pac pellets now. So we can do a little hop over the walls, which is nice. Pac pellets allow you to do this. You can chuck them. You hold the button down. Chuck a bomb instead. It's an interesting move. The game, it's almost like the game gives you all this stuff, but you don't always need it. Let's get some more fruit. Each level, by the way, the idea is that you collect fruit and you collect Pac pellets and you fight enemies and get to the end of the level. You can push plus, it will show you the fruit at the top. I think I might have missed one, but it doesn't really matter too much. But yeah, the actual game itself, like the way oh, hello. That was weird. The way Pac-Man plays is fairly good. Like you feel like you're in control of him. You'll notice when I jump as well, there's a little circle underneath him. Huge. All 3D platformers need to have this. It just helps massively when you're jumping over something. You go, oh, I'm going to land there. Especially if you're using this ability. That lets you stall in the air. So in terms of controls and the way Pac-Man is, like, I think it's actually pretty good. They've done a good job updating it as well. It's got a bit like that. And you can see you can use the butt stomp to get into the trees and things like that. And so the main gameplay, like what you're seeing now is a level. Pretty straightforward. The levels obviously get increasingly harder. I would say the first sort of 3 or 4 worlds aren't too bad, and then the game ramps up massively in difficulty. This game is actually quite difficult. This level itself, not so much, but it does get that way. But yeah, Pac-Man himself is, or like how he controls, great. All very good. Level design is pretty generic. You see I'm in a meadow. There's like a water world. There's like a lava world. It's like, it is a somewhat generic game. Pac-Man also has a voice in this, which is kind of fun. Which is a bit different. It never used to have a voice in the old games. But you can hopefully see, like, just gameplay-wise what's going on here. You're just exploring levels. You're just having a good old time. Collecting the fruit. Collecting the Pac pellets. There's some fruit over there. I'm not even going to bother collecting everything. It's a good way to get tokens as well, which allow you to do arcade stuff, which I can show. But yeah, what I've found, oh, and there's a ghost. So, oh yeah, we get to show off this mechanic. This has changed. I don't remember Pac-Man ever getting into Big Pac-Man, but that might just be memory. But you get to now run around and eat ghosts and destroy things. Come here. Yummy. And when you're like this, you're basically invincible unless you fall down a hole, I think. But the game offers enough variety in gameplay like that. What the game does somewhat lack, and we'll get to that in a little bit, is sometimes the boss fights in this game kind of suck. And it's kind of the downer on it, because this game is very much like it's a game of two halves. This, playing the levels and just like playing what the main stages are, it's actually pretty fun, and I like it for that. The issue I have is to do with the boss fights and some elements of it, of the game. The game does get very difficult. Let's just complete the level so you can see. So that's like a standard level. That's the first level in the game. It's not too difficult. Like I said, the game ramps up in difficulty as it goes along. Some of the levels in the lava world specifically are very difficult. You also have these challenges at the end of each stage. These get progressively more difficult, but you can unlock, you can see there the hunter hat, I've got that. You can unlock other hats and things like that as you go along. If we pop back to Pac Village, I can show you what the tokens are used for. But yeah, the game is very much it's one of those things. If you like Pac Man and you like 3D platformers, you're probably going to like it. Does it do anything particularly strong? Not really. I think this game is, like I said, sort of, for me, I would say it's good. But I think a lot of people, like I said, it'd be kind of above average at best. It's kind of one of those games where it doesn't really do anything bad, but it also doesn't really like push the boundaries. I mean, again, it is a remake, so in here you can also unlock stuff in the gachapon. You can unlock a bunch of different lineup trophies and things, which is cool. I don't know if these other ones ever come to life, but you can also play Pac mazes that you find in the world. So you can see I've not unlocked every single one of them, but in Paradise we've got there. We've got. Let's give this one a go, shall we? It's got fire burners on it. So this is more like traditional Pac Man. Now, my only issue with this mode is I find that Pac Man doesn't handle particularly well. And also the ghosts are really aggressive. So, like, as soon as you start playing, they will be coming after you very fast. Like that. And you play these modes and try to unlock various things. I think you can be on here while I'm Mega Pac Man mode. Yeah. So let's find out. Yeah, you can. So you can use this mode to like kind of cheese it a little bit. But these mazes are a lot of fun. I'm just going to use this one up here while I'm up here. But I'm trying to control Pac Man on this, and I'm finding it very difficult. It's my only issue. Ooh, I'll have that. I'll have a ghosty. And you can see these mazes get more and more complicated the more you play. But we'll see if we can. We can see if we can survive. Go and get him. But the game has a few different, like, you know, gameplay modes, gameplay options. There's actually fun. There's, you know, stuff to do here. Come on, Pac Man. You do have to like hold down the button to turn beforehand. Ah, balls. Me fruit. Yeah, so I do kind of wish this handled a bit differently. You also have to watch out for that. And I'm not going to say I'm particularly great at it, because I'm not. But I do enjoy the challenge. I wish I didn't suck as much, but hey, what are you going to do? I think the ghost can go over the fire, which is kind of annoying. Let's go and gobble up all these. Oh! Okay, that's not good. You only get 3 lives anyway, so... But yeah, so you have those to do. They give you more coins to spend on, like, the trophies and stuff like that. But what you're seeing at the moment, like, that first level is what most of the levels are like. If we were to go and look at a different level, if we leave Pac Village, you've got underwater levels. You've got various things like that. Like, we can go and look at maybe... let's have a look at... let's go to the lava world, because that's pretty difficult. Let's go for Volcano Panic. I probably won't do all this level, because some of these levels at this point in the game get very difficult. But this particular one is a very long level, so but you can see that you'll see the ramp up in difficulty. Now, the one thing I haven't shown off is that and something that they added to the game, which I'm actually kind of glad they did, which is fairy mode. So in this, you play on adventure mode. This is just dangerous in the mode. You enjoy the heart-pounding action. But they added fairy mode into this, and what this does is it basically makes Pac Man have infinite lives, and no, you're immune to be damaged. You can't get game overs, and the fairy will appear, among other things. So let me just show off like the sort of start of this level, and then I'll show you what happens with that mode on. And to be honest, I'm not gonna lie, I used it for the boss fights, and we'll get to the boss fights fairly quickly. I'm just gonna get through this and not die, hopefully. Ah! Oh, fell in the lava. Okay, cool. Well, that's actually good. Now I can show you what happens when you change it into fairy mode. I will say the reason why. Let's see. You can just jump into things and not take any damage. You can run into enemies. Never gonna die, which is quite nice. You'll see that these platforms have appeared as well. Oh, got a dude on me. So those platforms appeared as well. They appear because it's what your mode I'm playing. Normally wouldn't be there. But they just give you, they help out people that are struggling with the game. And the thing is, the game doesn't really penalise you too much. You still get a score. But you can probably see that the game's ramped up in difficulty quite a bit since that first level that I showed you, right? So let's go and show off a boss. Now, I could show you the final boss of the game, but that's very long-winded. I don't want to do that. What I will do, though, is... Let's have a think. What's a really good example? We've got the underwater boss. We've got... You know what? Let's show off the spider boss. Now, I'll take off the fairy mode. Now, my issue with the bosses in this game, specifically, and why I would bring this game down to sort of above average is the bosses really feel like they waste the player's time. Like, I feel like my time is being wasted when I play this. Let me turn fairy mode off so you can see, you know, how this is meant to be played. I find the bosses to be pretty uninteresting, even though, like, a lot of these are new. This guy's new. Like, I think the frog boss is the original one in here. A little cutscene as well. There's Pac Man talking.
Golden fruit.
Now, the reason I show this boss off and the reason why I have issue with this boss is that you can fall forward and backwards off of this platform. So you can run left and right, which is fine. But if you're not concentrating on where you're running like I am now, you can walk off the edge. And if you do that, because there's no checkpoints in the middle of the boss fights, good luck, you're doing it all again. Luckily, this boss is straightforward of what you have to do. The reason why I have an issue with it is that, yes, I can walk off the edge there on either side. I've now got to think about that attack. I've now got to think about this attack. I have a little bit of a perception problem with those notes coming to... You see I almost fell off the edge there as well? Got the fireballs coming down. And this is, you know, late in the game. I get it, the boss fight needs to be hard. But I do find that the bosses can be a little bit tedious and time-wasty. And that is kind of why I'm like, I don't know how I feel about the boss fights. I do think they bring the game down. I don't think they're the highlight of the game at all. The first boss fight's not too bad. The final boss fight is a real blight on this game, if I'm honest. I don't want to play. I don't want to show it off. Just trust me when I say that. Do you like having your time wasted? Like, that boss fight will waste your time entirely. This one isn't as bad, but you can see I still got hit there. There's like weird things that happen with this one, and if I can get through it far enough so you can see, you'll see how ridiculous it gets, and it really does get ridiculous. Ooh. Like those notes, like sometimes I will kick them and still get hit. Like I don't understand how it always works. So what we're going to see now is that each boss fight, in this case, this boss fight after 3 hits goes gold, right? So now you have like the second part of it. It goes gold. It now has a new attack. It now attacks faster. So now we start running around. It now has 2 lasers which fire bullets. There's now more of those to deal with. And so this is where my issue comes in, where it's like there's a difference between making something hard and then also making it a bit ridiculous. Like the pattern that you have to remember here is crazy. Like, why is it... we haven't got the fireballs coming down yet. Like, why am I having to deal with this? Like, this feels a bit much. Now, you can kill the spiders, and they do sometimes drop health, so there is that option. But the other thing is, that spider will still shoot you when you're jumping on those platforms over as well, which means you can get knocked into the lava that's there and die. So that's great. So now it just becomes a bit... rather than being like... and then there's a fireball on the switch. Like, I'm sure some people are thinking it's not that bad, but I think there's just too much going on here. Like, too much to the point where I can hardly see the lasers on the gun. I've got to concentrate on not falling off. I've got to, you know, time the kicks there. There's a lot of these notes to do. It's... and then like that, I did not... this boss fight in particular draws your attention in and tries to... You have to look at so many different things where it just becomes very unfun. It's the reason why I was using the invincibility for a lot of the bosses. Not because the bosses are necessarily hard in a good way. I just find that it's like, let's just chuck more at the player and have them deal with them. Some of the earlier bosses, you've got like a frog and a polar bear. They're not nearly as bad. But the spider boss, the underwater boss, the final boss, they all kind of feel very time-wasty, and their way of like making it more difficult is by chucking more stuff at you and making you deal with things. And it just, I can see why that easy mode is there, because it's just like, well, I can't be bothered to smash my head against this. You do have some swimming levels. You've got the yellow Pac Marine level as well, which what do I show off here? Maybe just show off the Pac Marine level. There is a little bit different gameplay. There's this one. There's ones where you're on like roller skates, and I think there's one where you're on blades as well, blading down a mountain. So there is stuff here to show that the game has, you know, variety and things. But the levels themselves are far more fun than I think the bosses are. And even when you finish the game, there is a extra world, which is incredibly difficult, which, if you're a completionist, I mean, the good thing is you can put the no die mode on and be a completionist. It doesn't penalise you, to my knowledge, so maybe I'd do that. But I do think this game shows its age, because the way that it does difficulty feels very backwards or very old, and it's not fun. Like, I don't mind something being difficult. That's never the issue. When I feel like my time's being wasted, like, there's no checkpoints in the bosses. That spider boss is a really good example of making it very difficult for the player, because you've got to focus on so much. And I find that things also blend into the background as well. So I'm like, well, this isn't easy, or it's not difficult because of, you know, an actual challenge. There's just so much going on. It's really like hard to actually see what I'm doing, and that isn't fun. And then with the final boss, yeah, it kind of takes up the time. However, if you want a Pac Man platformer, I do think there is something to be had here. It is fun. Like, I have had fun playing it. All I'm just going to say is just be prepared that this game is a remake of a game that came out, you know, early 2000s. And some of that's been addressed. There are some brand new levels in this, like, that weren't even in the original, which is an interesting way of doing it, I guess. But yeah, unfortunately, you're probably going to find that some of it's like, oh, this seems fine, and some of it's questionable. But that easy mode is there. You can just use that and blitz your way through. I'm going to keep showing me being absolutely rubbish at it. But it's an interesting game. And on performance, by the way, like the Switch 1 version, which is what you're seeing now, for the most part, it's been steady 30. There's been a couple of dips, but for the most part, it's been steady 30. I've had no issues playing it. I will probably get the Switch 2 version at some point, because I would like to play it at 60 frames. You know, it'd be a lot more fun. But I think just overall as a package, I got the game for about £30 in the UK. I think that's a reasonable price for what this game is, because it is a remake. It's not the longest game. There is more content. Like, you've got the challenges on the missions, that's new. You've got all of the stuff you can unlock in, like the Pac Museum and things in there. You can see all the trophies and stuff. You can unlock them here. It's a lot more vibrant, the game. It's a lot more alive. I do think it's nice that they've redone this game, and I have had fun with it. But don't expect, like, you know, this isn't an incredible game. This is just, it's good. You'll have fun with it. And if need be, just stick the easy mode on and be done with it, kind of thing. Because you just have a better time doing that than you will, like, let's put a crate there, than, you know, trying to play it and like, do everything with it. Because there are just some frustrating elements of it. There's some issues with, like, even just sort of jumping and doing stuff. The final boss has a section where you have to perfectly butt bounce, like, 3 or 4 times in a row. And that's fine, but when you're under pressure, it does make it a lot more difficult. So, I don't recommend. I recommend putting it on easy and just sucking it up. But, yeah, hopefully this is useful to somebody. Like, this, just go into this with a pinch of salt with this game, because there are some issues with it. Other than that, it's a fun time. It's a good platformer. I'm glad to see it back. I hope it does well enough for them to at least do even the third game, which was never great in the begin with. But I like this game. I think I like it because of the nostalgia aspect of it. If you're new to it, get it at a price that you think sensible. You might think £30 is a bit too much for it after what I'm saying, so there you go. But hopefully it helps you in a informed purchase, and just be prepared for a tough game, like massive difficulty spikes at points. But yeah, that's going to do it for me today then, guys. If you like the video, as always, hit the like button, helps out a ton. If you want to see more content, obviously more Switch 2 stuff, then hit the subscribe button. There's always more stuff coming. And until next video, I will see you then.